Hey friends, welcome back to noseyAF, conversations about art, activism, and social change. I am your host and friend, Stephanie Graham, and it is Black Business Month, which means that all throughout the month of August, over here at noseyAF, I will be sharing a conversation with Black business owner. Yep, all throughout the month. So whether you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, creative, however you see it, if you're Black with the business, we are here and they are coming through the podcast this month. And so today, I have the honor to speak with Mr. Ted Gloster. Ted left Detroit's District 2 in 2018 and came back during the pandemic. And instead of leaving again, he got to work. He runs the Forgin Initiative, a green space and after-school program for young people built on economic literacy, civic engagement, and emotional intelligence. A dream. Guys, we're going to play my loving theme music that I love so much, and then we're going to get into the conversation with Mr. Ted from the Forgin Initiative.
Gotta get up, tell the whole world you a winner. Vision of a star with a mission and a cause. What you doing, how you doing, what you doing, and who you are. Flex yourself, impress yourself. Check yourself, don't wreck yourself. If you know me, then you know that I be knowing what's up. Hey, Stephanie Graham is nosy as
Ted, welcome to noseyAF.
Thank you for having me here.
I'm so excited to talk to you about the Forgin Initiative. Did I say it right?
Yep, you got it right. Yep.
I think I want to first start out with, you described leaving District 2 in 2018 and then returning during the pandemic. What was the moment that made you feel unavoidable to act instead of just observe?
Right into it. I love it.
Yeah.
So when I left the city, District 2 and, in Detroit, Michigan, and I came back during the pandemic, I think it was reliving some of my trauma. Right. I think, it was definitely reliving some of the things I didn't like seeing growing up, being forced to, be back around people and things that I thought I wouldn't have to be around for another couple years or not at all again, right? Because the pandemic had everybody locked in, and I reconnected with some family, and it was seeing the bad habits of some people from my community, some people from my family, the drinking, the illiteracy, the financial illiteracy, the eagerness to go out and turn up and have fun. We had a whole pandemic going on outside, and people still doing things that are putting them further into a hole. It made me realize the priorities were just messed up, but also it's not just the priorities; it's the things that led to those messed up priorities, which is poverty, right? And poverty isn't always just a financial thing or a physical thing. It's a mental and spiritual thing too. And then also a lack of identity. I feel like, I knew, like, back then, if our people really knew our true history, our ancestors and where we come from, our history didn't start in slavery, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people go back to the earliest my family has gone back, or my friends' families, or people in my community's families. When we get to these tables and talk, we get to play the dominoes and spades, and we talking, right?
Yeah.
Always, I never hear nothing going back further than the 1800s or another. I can say the 1800s, the early 1900s, honestly. But our history didn't start there, right? Our community's history didn't start there. Your family history didn't start there. There's so much more to it, and I think when our people, when we describe our own history, it's degrading, and I don't like that, and I didn't like that. So poverty and the lack of understanding of our history, identity. Those are two things that really sparked me. And I'm trying to pinpoint the exact moment, but there were so many moments that accumulated to me just making a decision, back in, because I had this plan for a nonprofit since 2017, 2018.
Okay.
So I got out of college, but I was like, you know what? During the pandemic, 2021, I started ideating names. It took me almost a year to go ahead and launch things, but I started ideating names, trying to figure out names, and I was just like, I'm gonna do it. In 2022, started doing some work in the community, And then 2023, I went ahead and filed it and started doing after school programming, summer programming. So I hope that answered the question.
I think so, because tell us more about District 2. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so District 2 is in Detroit, and what else?
Yeah, so there's many districts in Detroit, but I said District 2 because that was a lot of my stomping grounds growing up.
Okay.
Through period the periods, so I'm gonna take out the districts now, I'm gonna say the streets. So from Pierce and Linwood was my mom's side, and Linwood and Dre Road was my dad's side. So for those of y'all who from the city, what up though, right? Say what up though.
Okay.
You know, if you came up in the early, in the 2000s and the early 2010s, y'all know how that area was and how rough it was, and to even be able to be able to maneuver as a young kid, young teenager walking around, you gotta know how to carry yourself a certain kind of way. But anyways, off that, that's home, right? Pearson Linwood is home. Linwood and Dre Road is home. So, I spent a lot of time on Pearson and Linwood, right? So I chose to start here. I have a lot of history here. We used to ride bikes through the neighborhoods. We used to play baseball in some of the fields. We even bust out a window,
Oh my gosh.
not too far away. But bust out a window to a house and ran, and like, oh, are we gonna get in trouble? Like, oh, the paranoid kids think somebody about to come after us, trying to
Right.
chase the girls off on Puritan and Wildermere, right? Like, we're just being kids, like, just not wanting to be in the house. We all had our own things going on at home, so we outside was our escape.
Yeah.
That was our fun. That was our peace. We were each other's peace in a village. So yeah, I took outside for granted. I really did. Cause things aren't. I'm not gonna say things aren't the same. I sound like an old person, but technology has changed things. A lot of kids aren't outside. They inside playing games a lot, making videos. Which is not a bad thing. Those things are assets if they know how to turn them into assets, right? But
Yeah.
just growing up to have a healthy body, healthy mind, healthy spirit. We're humans, right? Our
Yeah.
biological makeup. We need the sun. We need to touch grass. We need to eat natural food, organic foods, and we need to touch some mud so our body can tell the difference between a good bacteria and bad bacteria, right? That's how we
Yeah.
grow as healthy, functioning human beings. I definitely took it for granted.
Yeah, I think what's so cool about your program and the work that you're doing is, like, I feel like it's so easy to just, like, be somebody who would, like, receive these benefits of your program, like, to just be like, "Man, we need to, like," just complain about it and not actually, like, take initiative and do something about it.
Yeah,
Where do you think that comes from? Because you could just say, like, well, like, you could just do something with just, like, your friends, and just, like, leave it at that versus having, like, a community-wide program.
yeah, that part you hit. It's not easy. I'll say that
Yeah.
it's not easy. That's me being real, right? I'm not gonna be this leader who gets on camera and la di la di da, the peaches and creams. But I'm also not gonna sell y'all a lie. I don't want to sell y'all. I don't want to sell y'all perfection because none of us are perfect. I know plenty of leaders who put these masks on and they're not.
Oh, yeah,
You know, I,
definitely.
you know plenty of them, right? That's not to throw shade, but it's just I want to be truthful right now.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It takes a lot. I started doing the work with friends in the community, and my two little cousins had worked with me. They helped one of my little cousins did photography. My little cousin was a secretary for the organization. But even in that, you know how they say you can't bring family into business,
Yeah.
but you can, right? And I want to
Yeah.
correct myself real quick before I get into this. You can bring family into business, but you have to have things structured. They have to be organized, right? But I realized I had to get out of my comfort zone in order to truly make an impact. Yeah, I could have, I could have kept it as just me and friends and me and family. And the two guys who did help me, shout out to Kells and Lack, they helped with instruction, right? And they were paid for their time. And this was in summer of 2023. Shout out to them for helping out, when it was nothing really, when it was just from the ground up, just a small seed. So shout out to y'all. But I had to get out of my comfort zone and reach out to the community and reach out to strangers. 'cause I realized the sense of community, the love, right? There's love out there, and I was acting from a place of scarcity.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. I was acting from a place of scarcity, being afraid to reach out because I felt like it just wasn't a lot of love out there, and it's so much I could say about that time, and just that it's this question. I was acting from a place of scarcity. I didn't believe that there was a lot of love out in the world outside of those I was comfortable with. But even those I was comfortable with, I was still acting from a place of scarcity, not trusting people.
Yeah.
So I had to heal. I
Mm.
had to do a lot of healing. I had to do a lot of inner work, a lot of inner work. Man, I had to learn how to I had to learn how to express my emotions with myself. Cause I'm always lecturing people. I was always the type to lecture people, like, "Do this, do that, you got this," but I'm not even taking my own advice. So I had to do a
Mm.
lot of inner work, and after I did that inner work, after I did that healing, I was able to go out and I got my mind right, and I was able to go out and connect with people and be open with people. And with me now being able to be open with people, it's helped things grow, and it's helped that accessibility that you mentioned. It's made the accessibility to the resources a lot simpler because we're community driven. This isn't a gatekeeping organization to where, if we in person now, all right, wait, bro, we can set up a meeting next week or 2 weeks from now. No, the person you want to talk to is literally right over there. Go talk to them.
Yeah.
I'm not the expert in that. Go talk to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what we do, at the green space. And even with the summer program, we have people come in and talk to the kids. And if they want to, like, and it depends on if it's middle school or high school, but depending on which, like, the resources are there. If you ever need a resource, like, we have that mentor, that public figure. I don't say public figure, but we have that leader or that professional in the
Mhm.
set, on call, and we can connect the families with that professional so they can get the youth the resources that they need. And moving forward, the goal is to really have people who are ready to be on call. Because we've had some people on call, but I want to have more of that. I want to have less barriers. I want to bring around people who have less barriers, share communication. Not in the sense of trying to bombard their life, 'cause I know life is busy. But if you're gonna be serious about helping the youth, right, be serious about helping, right. Yeah, a form of love is, you know, inconveniencing ourselves sometimes. Like my godmom, she's inconvenienced herself for me plenty of times. So I'm more than willing if she ever asks me something, I'm more than willing to inconvenience myself for her, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's really
love,
nice.
right? So I want to bring more love into the program, if that makes sense. More
Yeah.
love and keep making the resources accessible, keep making the environments welcoming, and keep creating healing energy for the youth and the community.
Yeah, that's really nice. When you said that you were healing yourself, like, how are you doing it? Was it through journaling? Were you in therapy? Like, what's
All
it
that.
that look like? Okay.
Uh,
You said, "Sign me up. What's available to me?"
Yeah. So what does that look like? So I'm pretty open about things. Now, it's men who need to hear this, because a lot of us going through things and we put on acts and we gain this ego to protect ourselves, which is nothing but ego. It's nothing but a mask that protects insecurity. Guys, take my word for it. Look, do the work. You'll begin to see. But in 2023, I came home from college. So even in starting my organization, that was my senior year of college in 2022. So I graduated in December of 2022. Came back home in January of 2023. I sacrificed, and it's gonna lead up to why I started getting into therapy and all these things. But
Yeah.
I sacrificed a life of comfort for a life
Okay.
of purpose.
That's hard.
The Yeah, the woman I thought I was gonna marry, me and her didn't end up working out. Coming back, around family, I was I was triggered by my mom.
Mhm.
Something. My mom has some struggles, and she was struggling with something at the time. And I saw her in that moment. Having to help her move and things, having to make calls to help my family. I was triggered, and this was
Mhm.
that was in June of 2023. I was triggered from seeing my mom in that state. Plus the breakup a month earlier, right? That was
Yeah.
difficult. So I became triggered and seeing that, and I don't think I've ever been triggered in my life
Mm.
until that moment, because I hated seeing my mom like that growing up,
Yeah.
and I hated seeing that. It hurted so bad seeing my mom like that growing up, and being triggered, I felt like I had no control over my emotions, right? All of the walls, all the barriers I put up just came down.
Yeah.
I froze up. I got quiet. I was stuck. I was in a trauma freeze, and I spiraled out a little bit mentally and tried to get the girl back. That didn't work out. So I realized I had to be alone. I had to sit with
Mm.
my own shit up, sit with my own issues, own
Yeah.
problems. Working
Yeah.
on the cussing, but I had to sit with my own problems, and you know, the other things happened in between that June 2023 and August of 2023. A lot of things happened, and I started going to therapy in, I believe, July that summer, because I realized I needed to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
because mentally I just wasn't. I just wasn't there. So I went to therapy. I did that for about a month or two, and then I realized that I need to connect with my people more. So another form of healing, these methods I've used, therapy. Then once I realized I had to connect with my loved ones, people who actually love me, and me not seeing that from being in survival mode, because this is
Yeah.
a period of me transitioning from survival to thriving to becoming, right? So me learning how to thrive, me learning how to heal and then thrive. I realized I wasn't connecting with the ones who truly love me. And, there's a few people like my godmom, my stepmom, my best friend, my best friend Dominic, New World Productions, just talking to my people more and being more open with them. That's just a few people to name, right? But my siblings, of course, right? Spending more time with my siblings, my babies, man, my babies. But spending more time with them, and doing that, I began to feel a new sense of love coming out of a state of survival,
Yeah.
and that helped me on the level of understanding that I have what I need, and not just in others, but within myself. So then, I started journaling more as my body and my nervous system began to calm down from being in survival. I was tired a lot too. I didn't realize how much survival mode, when you healing and you always on go, when your nervous system began to calm down, you get tired a lot.
Yeah.
It's because your body is healing itself. But I started journaling more, praying more. I found God around that time too.
Hmm.
Praying like heavy, like every day, a couple times a day, asking for forgiveness, repenting, because I did a lot of things in my life that I didn't feel like I didn't truly repent for. Growing up, in the area, and having to do certain things, a lot of, and just not even just street stuff, but just women, from my past, friends or people I might have treated badly. Not saying I was just a shitty person, but I'm sensitive to how I treat people,
Yeah.
And I remembered these things. I felt bad about those moments in my life. So I repented, asked for forgiveness, started meditating more, breathing techniques. I believe the Sophie technique, the two in, one out,
Oh,
and those daily to help clear my mind. And it's led me to a higher point. So those are the methods I used.
wow.
That was a big explanation,
I
but
love it.
but those are some of the things I use. I started working out as well, and boxing, but those are some of the things I've used, and the backstory is why is what led me to using those things. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. It's like a full workbook you just gave us, which I really appreciate, a guide.
my pleasure. And the men, y'all need to hear this. Ladies, I feel like the ladies got y'all know how to cry and learning how to cry. I had to learn how to cry. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that, right? Yeah, here go my ego. Yeah, I can still fight and do these things, y'all, but
Okay.
still cry. I can, you know what I'm saying? I still know how to cry, right? But I had to learn how to cry too. But I feel like women, y'all have that, being able to like cry and express yourselves, right? And this is a balance between the masculine and feminine, whichever y'all believe in, right? The people watching,
Mhm.
but y'all have that so well down packed. And man, we bottle things up. We bottle things up a lot. So
Yeah.
fellas, I hope y'all took that to heart, and women, if y'all need that, whatever I just said, I hope y'all take it to heart, 'cause it's important.
Yeah, that
Healing is
is
important.
important. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing all of that. With you, working with the youth, are they receptive? Like, what's it like working with the youth? I feel like I personally am not always around kids. I have, like, my neighbors that are riding their bikes, that I say hey to, but never really, like it's been a long time since I've had to, like, be in a class with the youth.
Yeah, they are. Um, and a lot of times it depends on the school we're at or the
Uh,
environment that we're in, because every child, every group of youth have a different lived experience. So every environment brings a different personality of youth, a different set of youth who are receptive to different things. I think for the most part, though, most of our youth have been receptive. They have wanted to continue the learning. They wanted to continue to be a part of the program, especially with us bringing the emotional intelligence piece to it. We
yeah,
have three pillars, which is economic literacy, civic engagement, and emotional intelligence. And a lot of times we start with the emotional intelligence because, like I said, just talking about healing and those things, in that time, I made bad decisions, right? Financially, even me knowing better, but I still made bad financial decisions because my mental wasn't right, spending more than what I should have. So I knew better, but because my mental and my heart wasn't right, my soul wasn't right, I still made bad decisions. My
yeah,
emotional intelligence was shocked. So being them us having, like, tough conversations with them because youth aren't always taught, and I'm not gonna just say in our community, it's everywhere in the world. Yeah, I'm trying to break that bias too, but, it's everywhere in the world, but with them not always being taught by parents on how to express themselves, being okay with addressing a problem, being okay with crying, right? Not uncontrollably, but crying to let it out, and then getting back to your daily program, right?
yeah,
They are very receptive to it, because we tapping into something deeper than just how to file a LLC, how to get money, right? Detroit a getting money city, right? So we know that
yeah,
part. Why everybody still in survival mode? Why is everybody still overstimulated? Why is everybody, why is our city being gentrified to the way that to the point that it is, and everybody's still complaining, even though we a getting money city. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Emotionally.
It's
So yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. How does someone work with Forgin Initiative?
Yes. So we're actually getting ready to gear up for fall after school programming. So we're gonna be putting out a application on our website, www.forigin, that's FORIGIN.org.
Perfect. We'll put that
We'll
in the show notes too.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have the application on the website. We're gonna post it on LinkedIn as well and Instagram. And we also have and that'll be up actually within the next week or two. And then we have a volunteer form on our website as well that people can sign to become a volunteer. We try to get our volunteers heavily involved with our work. So sometimes some volunteers want to come into the classrooms. They may become instructors, or they may just become a TA, like a teacher assistant, right? Depending on age, of course, and things like that. But volunteering is a big way to get involved with foraging. Coming out to the green space as well is always a great time, and it's
Where's
always a great
that?
time. The green space is so that's called the Foraging Neighborhood Coalition.
Okay.
That's located at 15720 Alden Street. That's ALDEN, Detroit, Michigan 48238. So y'all ever want to pull up, come through. We still finishing it up, but if y'all follow us on social media at the Forgin Initiative or the Forgin NC, you'll see a lot of the work and building we've been doing.
Man, that's really exciting that you have like a physical space that people can come to.
Thank you. It's a blessing. Honestly, it's a blessing.
Yeah. If you're a kid that's homeschooled, can you be a part of Foragin?
Absolutely. We,
Yeah.
I'm big on experiential learning, uh, heavy on that, and that's why we're working on getting more funding to give kids more field trips to get them outside more. But experiential learning is very important. We would love to get more youth who are homeschool into the program to get them around other youth, not just in the classroom, but coming outside to the green space, building outside. Doing activities outside, workshops outside, right? Touching grass and still learning.
Yeah. Somebody to ride your bike with.
Yeah, yeah, ride your bike way, exactly. So yeah,
With the structure of running this business, this program, Like, what is something that is a challenge? Like, just, like, organizationally, you think?
Yeah. We're still this is year 3 for us,
Okay.
but year 1 and 2 were it was year 1 was really starting from scratch, starting from the ground up. Year 2 was, it was like a seed, it was like a sprout, it was like a sprout. And then, year 3, we're still in that sprouting area phase, stage, but we're
Mhm.
beginning to grow out a little bit more, right? So the biggest challenge, is just finding quality help without the proper funding. Um,
Yeah.
because it's tough times, right? And I'm not expecting people to, give their life for free, right?
Yeah.
So we do give stipends to the people who help with the work, but the goal now is to get the 6-figure funding, to get hopefully 7-figure funding, but 6-figure funding right now within the next 6 months. That's the hopes, to be able to pay people properly, maybe part time, to be instructors, to be garden stewards of the green space, to be out, to help with outreach, to help with marketing, right? Because a lot of these things I did myself. Now I have a volunteer coordinator. I have
Mm.
a storyteller, a volunteer storyteller and outreach person. Shout out to Tayshawn. Shout out to Avery, right? A media photographer. Shout out to New World Productions. My best friend, Dominic. So I have people who are willing to help. Like I said, I do try to make sure I get them paid. So the goal is to just get more funding, and that's been the challenging part at the moment, is looking for that funding, especially with federal things that have been going on the federal level. It's it's changed a lot versus when I first got in, because I knew people who were in here in this game for maybe 2 years or a year, ahead of me, and access to funding was a lot easier, which is not a bad, it's just timing, right? God's timing, but so things have changed a lot. So getting the funding to pay to put people on payroll, that's the biggest challenge right now. And even, sometimes it can be outreach, right? Getting in contact with new partners at times, intentional partners, right? We like to build intentional relationships and not, be politicking and, just to politic and using the space for pictures, right? But
Yeah, really.
yeah, no, for real. So those are the two main things. But other than that, everything else is picking up. But I think once that the funding that we hoping comes in within the next 6 months comes, it'll make a, a lot of other things smoother.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you give to someone who's like, "Okay, I really like what Ted's doing. I wanna do something for my community." What would you tell them besides their own healing, like, step 1 might be?
Aside from healing, I would say ask questions, move around, network. When I say network, don't just, be careful. I'm being very careful with that word network. Build relationships.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. Build relationships, ask questions, and take action. All right. The big at the end of the day, you can have all the conversations in the world, you can have all the mentors in the world, but if you're not taking action, it means nothing.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, like you can't expect people to hold your hand, and because that was my biggest thing, starting out. I took action. No, I didn't have I have a background in youth development, being a mentor to youth. I have a finance background, but so far as running a nonprofit or running a board, I haven't run these things before, but I learned as I went along. So don't be afraid to learn as you go. Don't let these bougie people, right? I ain't say bougie. Don't let egotistic people, because I guess going back to ego is nothing but a mask that protects insecurity. So don't let egotistical people or quote unquote bougie people, right? However y'all think about bougie, right? But don't
Yeah.
let those folks make you feel like it has to be perfect starting off. Because now the same people who told me I shouldn't be doing such and such, or people who stood on the stands watching me, a lot of them they want to become a part of the work now, which I'm not allowing some people to come in now because your heart posture just ain't right.
Yeah.
So be okay with taking action. Be okay with asking questions. Be okay with not looking good. Be okay with I don't say embarrassment, but not be okay with not looking good with everything that you do. Your questions might not be perfect, but you still asked the question. Your action might not be perfect, but you still took action. But guess
Yeah.
what's after that? a lesson. You're going to learn something every single time. And so be okay with bumping your head. And don't let, like I said, don't let the people in the outside noise make you feel bad for looking, for not looking perfect, right? I don't want to say dumb. I don't like saying that type of stuff, but don't let the outside world make you feel bad for bumping your head, because some of the smartest people in the world bump their head many times. And I'm speaking specifically in regards to our people, because of the positions we've been put in over the years to have to be very resourceful with lack of funding, right?
Yeah.
We still found a way, right? And not to say, it's so many things with the funding part, because I can't even intermingle funds. It's like I run other businesses outside of my nonprofit, so some things have to be structured straight to the nonprofit. But yeah, y'all be okay with making mistakes. Be okay with bumping your head. Be okay with asking questions and take action. So that's what I would say to them. And know your why. What do you want to do, right? Know what you want to do. Don't just come in, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. Know exactly what you want to do as well, because then you'll start spreading yourself too thin, and now you're all over the place. So figure out what exactly you want to do, but even before that, figure out why you want to do it. So
Yeah. No, that's really good, that coming back to the why part, especially there is a neighborhood here that I'm always, like, interested in doing things in, and people always like, "Why?" Like, "Nobody's there anymore," like, "It's blighted," like, all of this, they're just so easy to shut it down. So me like, I guess they want me to be like, "Oh, you wanna work over there? It's terrible." So I should be like, "Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was terrible. Let me just not go over there and, like,
yep,
do stuff." But it's like, yeah, you do have to just, like, not pay attention to them and just stay focused to your why.
yep, that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you gotta. It's like tunnel vision. Don't be arrogant. You ain't gotta be arrogant. You ain't gotta be egotistic, right? Because that's how ego was built. I'm big on the difference between ego and confidence, right?
Mm.
Confidence is being in tune with self. The ego is being out of touch with self in order to protect self, right? But that's how egos are built too. We begin to let the negative noise get to us. We begin to feel hurt, by the outside world, and now we got to put on this mask and become a robot, become a machine, and now here we go repeating the cycle. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I know that you are an entrepreneur. What are your other businesses?
Yeah, so I have a funding company. I have two other partners that I work with. We help people find funding, for whatever purpose they may need, business funding, personal funding. I have a clothing brand name called Severe, SEVIR. And also, I do some trainings with people that want me to train them on the side, fitness, being an athlete and things like that. So those are my three other focuses outside of Forgin, and some other stuff. You know, coming along. So it's to say we serial entrepreneurs is the way to put it right now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You like to keep busy.
yeah. Keep busy, but also stay progressive. Right.
Yeah,
Uh, like I said, not to. I don't want to spread myself too thin.
of
Just
course.
I'm learning to have partners. Right. Have people that I work with. Allowing people to take charge, like the clothing brand. My little brother. Putting him in charge shortly of, the marketing and media side. You go ahead and be the face. I don't want to be the face no more. I'm telling
Mm,
you, I got other things I'm running. You do that.
yeah,
You know, just understanding, not spreading myself too thin, but understanding what true leadership is. And that's putting other people in position, which is perfectly fine.
yeah, that's so nice and generous and not gatekeepy, so that's awesome. I
It's
should
yeah,
write that.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, last question, your ideal volunteer for Foragin, what do they look like?
Passionate, dedicated, selfless, and passionate, dedicated, selfless, loving.
Oh, yeah,
Loving spirits, but also loyal.
okay.
Right? Not saying, you don't have to volunteer to like just keep coming back, because that's not what volunteering is always for. But we want to build a village where we are building a village. We are building a family around everything we're doing. Like the volunteers that have been coming out to the green space and to the after school program, we're tight. Like we have good relationships, and that's the culture that I want to keep building for Forging. So that loyalty piece is important, because we want to build. How can we help you as well? Right, that's the motto. Like allow other people to help themselves while helping Forging. So
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. And then, like, even though what's, like, a time commitment? I know you said that you don't expect folks to be there all the time, but even, like, in an ideal setup, like, what would it be?
So, like, for the green space, we do voluntary days, like, every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Mm. So that's like a 4-hour commitment, or you can stay there for about an hour, right? You have an hour every time, right? Like an hour a week, right? Coming out, helping out, move stuff around. If you gotta go, do your thing.
Yeah.
After school programming, that's usually 2 hours after school. So, if you want to come in and just help be an assistant that day, that'll look like you being there for about an hour or two. Help
Every
set up.
day?
No, only 2 days. Well, it's 3 days per week this year
Oh,
coming.
okay.
But, so 3 days per week, you don't have to be there every single day. Maybe it can be 1 day, right? 1 day minimum. So 1 hour minimum, 1 day minimum a week. So,
Hmm.
I just don't wanna ask for too much. And like I said, I know people have lives, but that's why we say passion, dedication, right? Because I also understand what it takes to run an organization to like, out of everything I'm doing, Forgin is picking up the most.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's picking up the most. And, you know, all ego aside, see, I felt my ego kicking in, like, I can do it. Everything aside, we need help.
Yeah.
Not saying like, waving the white flag or like, not looking for nobody to save us, but this is the truth. No organization can run without help. Elon Musk cannot run without help. I use him as
Yeah.
an example because people tend to always use him as an example, but
Yeah.
Obama couldn't be president without help, right? It's so many great leaders, but yeah, help is needed. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dope. Well, Ted, thank you so much for talking to me today on Nosy AF.
No, thank you for having me. This was great. I love progressive conversation. So thank you.
Yeah. And thanks for thinking of me as progressive. I feel very, very bougie about it now. That concludes another episode of Nosy AF, 31 Days of Black Business. I'm your host and friend, Stephanie Graham. I hope you took something away from today's conversation and had a good time hanging with us. Be sure to check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest and consider supporting their work. You know how it goes, whether you're making a purchase, hiring them, or simply spreading the word. Listen, who doesn't love a referral? It truly all makes a difference. Quick thank yous go out to Queen Lex and Freddie Bam Bam for the Nosy AF theme music, and Emma McGolrick, who hooked me up with the cover art and branding. Shout out to the partners and supporters for this series. You could check them out in the show notes as well. Super grateful for a partner. Hello. That's the show, friends. Until tomorrow, stay curious and take care. Bye.